Welcome back to Me versus Myself podcast. I am your host, Jesus Guillen. First off, kind of after hours right now. It's 11:34 p.m., January 12th, and I usually record Mondays, but it's about to be Wednesday, and I haven't recorded, so I need to have something ready to put out tomorrow. Welcome to Me versus Myself podcast. By the way, if you're new here, sorry, give me 1 second to move the mic, and I won't bother you guys anymore about it, but. Um, if you're new here, welcome to Me versus Myself podcast. This podcast is where I document my experience being a human being. I talk about my ideas, my feelings, my thoughts, my goals, and my mindset working towards those goals. Um, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you're on audio, shout out Anchor, shout out Spotify, shout out Apple Podcasts, shout out Google Podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, obviously, hello, welcome. Please subscribe. I do a new podcast every Wednesday, and we're working on getting guest podcasts in on Fridays. So, looking look forward to that. I'm very happy to be talking to you guys. I don't know how loud I am though, so I mean, I kind of have to be loud. Sorry, everyone that's sleeping. It is what it is. This is my job, so can't be too mad at me for speaking so loud. But it's not even that loud, so we're good. We're like I said, it is Monday. I mean, Monday. It is about to be Wednesday. The process of editing isn't that hard. It takes about like an hour ish, an hour, 30 minutes maybe, an hour, no, maybe like 2 hours to edit, export, and post about it and talk about it. You guys last heard from me Wednesday. Sorry, I had a burp, but you guys last heard from me Wednesday. Dude, so a lot's kind of happened. Not really a lot, but actually nothing. Nothing's really happened. I've been a little bit unmotivated. And although I know I said that like I'm working on, I guess being more disciplined, I kind of slipped up. I guess up to Wednesday, I had a pretty good momentum going of like running like 2 miles every day. I was running about 3 miles a day. I was running a mile and a half like in the morning and a mile and a half at the end of the day. So I was running 2 miles, and then I had this like soreness in my like shin or like my ankle. It wasn't shin splints. It was like no, not even my. It was like the back of my calf. So I had some like soreness, and I was kind of being a baby about not wanting to run because I was sore and I was just kind of being comfortable. So um, if you're wondering, if you're new here, you don't know what happened here. I broke my finger, and we're kind of waiting for it to heal, and I really can't wait for it to heal. That's kind of like I'm like looking forward to like the next 2 3 weeks ish where I get this taken off and start the process of like reincorporating my hand and using like doing therapy to get it back into action if it even needs. I mean, it might need some therapy because it's just literally been fucking still for the past 40 something days, 45 plus days. um so I am excited to like be able to move my fingers and use my whole hand because I mean I use this, which is a pretty good amount of like I guess I've gotten pretty good at using just these three fingers to do certain tasks that I used to do, and it is a little uncomfortable, like for example when I write, because the way that this hits before my hand does. So I do have to like adjust to like little things like that. But for the most part, I'm pretty well adjusted to just using these three fingers and my other hand. And if you're wondering why I don't switch off hands, it's because I'm holding the mic with this hand. I do have a table that I'm going to start using to put the mic down because it doesn't really work to have my to have it on the desk so much because I move around too much, or like I'll hit the desk and it like makes it very loud. It picks it up very loudly. Um, but yes, I wish I had like. It's kind of weird because I really didn't expect to fucking record until like the past like 30 minutes. I hopped in the shower and I was like, you know what? I kind of have to record because I don't want to record in the morning, and it's not going to work out so well. So I am kind of going off the dome. Like literally, I usually have some sort of topic or some sort of idea that I want to get across, but no, I don't. I don't have much for you guys today, as far as like anything planned. I guess I can tell you guys about the recent events that I've been kind of going through. Just feeling a little bit unmotivated. There is little things like I've been reading every day. and I'm halfway done with my book. This book is called The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking by Dale Carnegie. And if you've ever read anything by Dale Carnegie, you'll know that his books are pretty good. I've learned a lot from him and his teachings. And this is like third book of his that I've read. I've listened to two, and this is the one that I'm reading. I'm trying to make reading more of a habit because I genuinely enjoy reading. It's just like it's kind of hard to start doing. Like it's not super appeal. It doesn't seem super. It's not super attractive. It's not like sexy to read a book, or it's not like I crave reading a book necessarily. It's so more of like something I know I want to do because I do enjoy it, but like the process of doing it or starting has kind of been hard. But I've been making it a habit. I've missed one day last week, so I can't say that I've been on a perfect streak. But since last Monday to now, I've read a chapter every morning, which is about 20 pages a day. So one of the things that I've been doing is in the morning, I go outside and get some sunlight. Shout out David Huberman because David Huberman suggests we get sunlight early in the morning because that sets the circadian rhythm for your day. So basically, it kind of lets your brain know, like, hey, it's time to wake up. And then I've been incorporating that of just going outside after I wake up and like being out and letting the light just, come in and kind of choosing not to lay down again. Today was successful because I ran after I woke up after not running for a week. But like I was saying, I hop on the elliptical and I read my book, and it's such a nice combination because I don't really like. Literally, I'm just stepping, and I'm reading out loud, and I've noticed like how much like more fluently I can read. Before, like when I was starting, it would be like I'd kind of stutter and like kind of get lost in between like the pages or like in between the lines. I'd be reading and I'm like, oh shit, where's the next line at? Like my brain couldn't process it so well. But I've gotten better. Um, and also, this book is teaching me a lot of things about speaking and delivering speeches. And this is kind of what I do on here. It's not necessarily a speech because it's all like on the spot, but I guess more for like effective speaking publicly, which is something I've never really been super afraid of. But there is some sort of like nerves there sometimes, and I mean, I guess that's normal, when you're addressing a certain big group or you're addressing a crowd of people that are um, there to listen to you. So I've been learning a lot of cool little insights of like things to say, or not necessarily just techniques as to how to put your ideas across in a more effective way. Um, I'm at 159 pounds, which is like super big because it's so hard for me to drop from under 160. Like I feel like I'm naturally at 160, and like my it's really hard for me to cut down. But I've been a little bit more strict yesterday and today, since Sunday. Been a little bit more strict on my fast. I've been a little bit more on being. I've been being a little bit more aware of the things that I'm consuming, and a little bit more aware of like my calorie deficit and, like I said, my fast. So one thing about me, I noticed that the later I eat, for example, like if I fast from say like 8 p.m. to like 2 p.m. or like even 4 p.m., like I'm okay with that meal, that only one meal. But I noticed that when I eat earlier, I eat more. I tend to eat more. Like for example, today, I mean, I'm still fasting the 16 hours or some. My minimum is to fast 16, but sometimes I'll just do 17 because it's like, well, I'm not even hungry. So, let me just wait. Or sometimes it ends up being like 18, 19 hours, and then I have one meal, and then my fast starts, and I don't eat again until the next day. And it's not really a problem for me. I've been fasting for 2 years now. So yeah, it's not something that's like super hard for me to do. There is times where like I'll just not fast, and then that little, like I said, that little internal struggle of like, well, I've been eating early for like these couple of days. Like, why not keep eating early? But I do notice that when I eat earlier, not only do I get like a little bit of a crash midday, but I'm also like my energy isn't as good as like when I'm fasted. And I think that like, and I've heard this example before, but if you think back to like old times, I guess prehistoric times, not necessarily, or just I guess times of like hunter gatherer. Um, I mean, there wasn't always food available. Um, and I guess going out to hunt and like being fast, it not only made them a little bit more alert, but their energy was probably higher. And just that's the way your body works. Like your body adapts to the fuel you have, and if it sees like, oh, we're not gonna eat right now, and we're not gonna eat for like 10 more hours, like okay, like, and you do notice the little internal things. It's like your fucking stomach starts to grumble, and you're like, oh, I kind of feel hungry. Or I don't know if maybe anyone else experienced this, but sometimes in the morning, dude, like I start to feel like a stomach ache, kind of. And it's like my stomach feels really like empty, and it feels like I need to like eat, and it's just fucking psychological warfare. Um, but it's a cool little battle to go to, I guess, to fight or deal with. So yeah, I do notice that I'm more optimal when I eat later in the day, and I'm okay with one meal a day because I noticed, yeah, like I said, like if I eat in the morning, if I break my fast earlier, I'm more tempted to eat a little bit more, and I'm more tempted to like snack on more stuff, and like I'll just get fruit or I'll get chips or whatever. It just I tend to eat a little bit more the earlier I eat. So I do just I prefer that like it feels more rewarding for me to wait until maybe like my first meal, which would be like at 4 or sometimes 2 or 4. Like I'll eat at 2, and then sometimes at like 4 or like 5, I'll eat a little bit. Like I'll eat dinner with my family. But even then, like I'm okay with one meal a day, and it feels so rewarding. Like at the end of the day, like you waited all day, and like you're feeling hunger, So when you do finally get to like feel that body, it's like, oh, I earned this. It's really cool. You guys like my shirt today? I hope you guys like it. If you know, you know. I mean, who doesn't know? But yeah, that's also one thing I've wanted to talk to you guys about. So it's been a week and like a week and 2 days now of me not consuming THC in my system. Um, I don't know if I told you guys, but I lost the green stizzy. I lost the green stizzy. I don't know where it is. The pod was dead anyways, but also with microdosing, I feel like I haven't really felt the need for really any external like thing. Like right now the way I feel about like weed, I know I enjoy it, but I feel like I felt when I did the 75 days, and I've already fought there wasn't really much withdrawals, there wasn't really much like anything. It was just kind of me understanding that okay, like I can't continue to indulge in this behavior. Although I know I enjoy consuming and I enjoy being high, it's not the best thing for me to be doing right now, and it's not the best thing for me to be putting my energy towards. Like I said, I know I enjoy it, and I know I want to have it as a reward, but seriously, I need to seriously earn it, and like I think I'll value it a lot more instead of like having it all the time or having a pot or having a cart to just have the convenience of just doing it whenever. Literally coming into my room, fucking hitting it. It just goes away. There's no smell. Like it's good. But also it's not super good for me to be so caught up in it because then I start to get dependent on it. Um, which again, it's a personal thing. It just doesn't really work for me to be high all the time. And I really enjoy like not having to feel like I haven't felt the need or the urge so much to like really go out and do it. There is a little bit of like a an urge, but I think that's just stems from it being a habit, and it's been a habit for like the past 2 3 years of my life. Um, it's been a habit for 2 years for sure, and I noticed it's just a cycle of like clinging to that behavior or like my brain having those set of neurons that like it's like hey, like Why aren't we chiefing up? Or why don't we? And like I said, I want to earn it a little bit more. And also, like, I just feel like it's not something so much that I need. Thank you. Like, even with like the microdosing, like, even like today, I didn't take my dose. And it's just like, it doesn't really come to my head to like, oh, like, let's go microdose. You know, I need to take my microdose, which maybe I should. But you know, like I genuinely don't feel like I need certain things right now. I don't really need anything. So like, it doesn't really come to my the thought of like, oh, like let me go take my microdose. It doesn't really come to my head. Um and I don't know. I think it's just because honestly, one of the self realizations I had like last week, and I think I talked about this on the last episode, which if you didn't listen, please go ahead and listen. I feel like I had a lot to say, and I talked about how certain things aren't serving me anymore, and certain old friends and old habits don't really work for me no more. Kind of like adding to that, right? Yeah, I just like I kind of laughed at myself because I was like, bro, you're so fucking addicted to this shit, and look how you're acting, look how dependent you are on this substance that you don't that you aren't addicted to. You know, it's like you're so dependent on it, and for you to ignore that and for you to pretend you're not is kind of like not it. Um, but like I said, there hasn't really been a need for or like a really much of a desire to consume necessarily. Like I said, I do want to make it a reward, and there is some like I have set a challenge for myself to unlock that reward for myself. And I haven't been working on it, so it doesn't look like I'll get to do it really soon. Um, which again is okay because I genuinely feel like I don't need it, but also I know that it might be cool when I have that certain goal done, and I don't really want to talk about the goal yet. Um, it's more of just something I guess I should, huh? I mean, I've literally told you this is where I document my goals, but for my social media marketing agency, I want to have a client before I consume a joint or, you know, like consume some sort of THC into my system. And I don't want to go out and buy a pod or like a Stizzy or anything like that. And shout out Stizzy, but it's so convenient and it's so easy that I tend to abuse it. So let's, you know, like not going that route, but definitely like a joint, a celebratory joint. I don't think anybody's tripping. I'm not really tripping. That seems like a good idea. But again, like the one thing too, it's like I don't mind it so much. Like I mean, I know it's gonna be there forever. Like it's always gonna be there, especially like in the like how we're progressing now and the way society sees it. It's just kind of like a normal thing, and everybody does it. So it's like, why not? So it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there in a year. It's gonna be there in a month. It's gonna be there tomorrow. It's gonna be there in 10 years. You know, it's like it's gonna be there. And it's not like I need it so much. You know, it's like I told you guys a while back, I've just kind of took it off of a pedestal of like me trying to conquer it or me trying to work, you know, me trying to be productive while still doing it. You know, like I guess that was kind of a lie I told myself way back early on when I did start smoking. Like it would be like, well, I'm still productive, I'm still getting my shit done. And the people around me would be like, well, I still get my shit done. So like it's okay that I smoke every day, but it's really not because I'm not getting anything done. So that's just a stupid comfort lie that I tell myself that, again, thankfully, and I owe it to the mushrooms for sure, that I've just become more self aware and that it's been teaching me that, like, hey, like, you're fucking complete and you're healthy and you're happy. And if you want to have that clear minded feeling, that clear headedness, go for a run. And you know that you can get that sort of like high on life feeling from going and pushing yourself and doing something really hard, which is also why I really miss training. For those who don't know, I do jujitsu and I've been training jujitsu for like 3 months. But like I said, since I broke my finger, it's been about 50, 40 days that I haven't trained, and I really miss it, dude. I miss it a lot, and I can't wait to get back on the mat and be around my friends. Because again, iron sharpens iron, and the people I'm around there really, really inspire me. The people around, the people over there at Dream Martial Arts, Dream MMA. Shout out to all of my friends, all my homies from Dream MMA. You guys seriously inspire me, and I really miss being around you guys. Again, I don't know. I haven't really felt super motivated to go out and be there. Um, that's kind of a shitty excuse. There's really no reason why I haven't gone. Just kind of took the time off to like really just be on my own or enjoy my own time. I don't know. But I do miss you guys a lot. I really do miss, and it was so cool to see some of you guys on Christmas. Definitely do plan on visiting. So I will be, but I'm gonna see them in a couple weeks because on the 30th, going to Arizona because some of my friends are going to compete at the Arizona Jiu Jitsu tournament. So I'll be there cheering them on, and I get to visit Arizona. I get to visit Arizona, which I've never been. I think I passed through Arizona one time on my way to Utah, if I remember correctly, but I was like 6, so I have like no memory of it. I'm not sure what exact part of Arizona I'll be at, but it's gonna be cool to road trip with my friends. Yeah, so shout out my dream friends. You guys are awesome. You guys are seriously my kind of people, and it's so cool for me to have my pack and know that those people are like the kind of people I want to surround myself with, and the kind of people I genuinely admire. Um, I've never really had such a big friend group like that, and I guess I did, but I guess I was friends with those people for the wrong reasons. In high school, I was part of a friend group, but I haven't talked to any of those people since I graduated. So, were we even friends? Probably not, but it's all love regardless. And these Dream MMA people, a little bit older, a little bit more mature, have their shit going for themselves, which inspires me to want to do more and pursue my own passions more. So when I'm their age, not only will I be successful like they are, but I'll have more of my own goals going for me just because of the iron that's been sharpening the iron that is me. Because iron sharpens iron. I am the CEO of unplugging the mic. It's so annoying that I always do that. And I think I need to get a longer micro USB cable. That's something I know I should have already got. It's a little annoying, dude. It's a little annoying in Editville. Here, let me write that down on a little note so I have it written down, and when I edit tomorrow, it's gonna add like 10 more minutes to the editing process. So thank you, Jesus, for doing that. I love you so much. And I almost fucking broke the mic again. Um, this is why I need that little table that I was telling you guys about, because if I have it on the table and I'm just talking and picks up the mic audio without me having to hold it or put it on my desk, it's gonna work out better. Okay, one thing too, I also got over a limiting belief that I was going through. I was going through a limiting belief that okay, the limiting belief was I didn't want to have interviews in my room for some reason. I don't know what the thought process was behind that. I don't know. I feel like it might be a little weird for people to come over to my room because I mean, this isn't really a studio. This is just my room, and I record on my computer and I record on my phone. But I was live on Instagram on Monday. Yeah, Monday. And I was talking to my friend Jacob. Shout out Jacob. He was talking to me, and I was just like, bro, like, would you be down to hop on a podcast? I would tell him I would love to talk to him on the podcast, and he told me he was down. And this is when I processed that limiting belief of like, I guess he reassured me, like, bro, like, I don't care. Like, I would go to your room and record your podcast. And also Gerardo was supposed to be on this week's episode, but a little bit of a got postponed. undisclosed reasons. But within the next week or the next within the next 2 weeks, we will have guest podcast. Just a little bit of a something came up, and it got postponed a little bit, which again isn't a problem. It's just something we must overcome and just let time pass. It's gonna be so cool. So yeah, the limiting belief was just I felt so weird about having people over, I guess, but or this is like what else, what better than this sort of it's like this is just gonna be the setup regardless. Like I don't there's nothing wrong with this sort of setup. I don't know why I was kind of confused or not sure how I wanted to do it, but I don't mind having people come over and kick it in my room while we record an hour. It literally can be as long as it has to be. I don't mind having these conversations because I genuinely want to have conversations with people. Like, and not only am I going to be talking to people, but I'm talking to my friends, whom which I haven't talked to in a couple of months, maybe even years, a year, if that. So hearing their perspectives of like how life has treated them and what they've learned. For example, my friend Jacob's been to boot camp. My friend Esteban's also been to boot camp. So I'm really curious to hear their perspectives and hear their struggles and hear how certain little mind battles that they had have influenced them, or certain life, just life in general. How has life shaped them up to this point from the moment we last saw each other, which was high school 2019. Shout out K House. Shout out Kennedy High School. Um, so yeah, I was kind of conflicted. I guess I didn't want people to come over, but it's like it didn't make sense to me. It was just like, bro, like you want to have them on your show, so why not have them come to your studio where you film your podcast? Like, I don't know. I guess it was just this fucking. I guess me kind of avoiding the discomfort of getting the first episode done. Because I mean, the podcast with Ignacio, like that's the first guest, but like it's so, like it doesn't feel uncomfortable because I'm talking to Ignacio, and like I don't know how to explain it. Like Ignacio is like my brother, and we're really close. So it's not like I haven't seen him in a year, and like I'm kind of like, whoa, like I haven't talked to these people in a while. Curious just to know, or I don't know. I'm guessing a little nervous as to like the conversations are going to happen. Not necessarily of things that are going to be said, but it's like, dude, I haven't talked to my friends in a while, and we're gonna get to talk, and I don't know. For some reason, I'm a little nervous, and I think that's why I was kind of overthinking the idea of like having people over. But the people that I want to have, like people that I want to have on my show, like why would I not want to welcome them into my house and have them sit down and record a conversation with me? Especially because like the visions I've been having for the podcast, it's like, dude, I want to interview everybody, like literally everybody. People that I enjoy talking to, people that I think are interesting, people that have something to say. Literally, dude, I had this idea of like even inviting, not necessarily, maybe not like right now that it's going to be like in my room, but certain people, for example, like old teachers that maybe might, I don't know, I guess it'd be cool to have or hear that conversation of like a teacher that knew me senior year, I guess. I have a teacher in mind, and if you know, I guess if you know, so this is a thought that came to my head, and if you know who this teacher is, like, shout out to you because this class is pretty cool. Um, so Miss Kim, right? Mix Kim, if you know, you know. But so I don't know. We kind of had little clashes. Um, but like we both like I respect her and she respects me, but there were little clashes of like ego. I'm sure it was like me being immature, maybe also, and I mean, senior in high school, fucking, just not caring, and maybe that's also comes off a little rude. So I mean, it's like little clashes of that, but also like she would tell me things about myself that like empowered me and made me believe even more in me. Like there's this thing that I really remember that's like stuck with me. She told me like after high school you're going to make better decisions and it's going to be really good for you. And I mean at the time maybe it didn't make so much sense, but it did kind of stay with me, and it has stayed with me, the thought of like, hey, like maybe I am improving, maybe I am getting better, because obviously I'm not the person I was back in senior year. So much has happened from that moment to now. So it'd be cool to like have a perspective on maybe me from what she remembers, if she even remembers, if that was any sort of significant event in her life, but also just being able to hear, because she was a very wise woman. Like she was very wise, and maybe at the time I didn't really appreciate that so much about her, but it's so cool, and I would love to like one day maybe be like, hey, like, would you? I email her or something like, hey, would you like to be on my podcast, and just literally have a discussion on. I don't know. It's just a thought, and maybe it doesn't even end up being her, but I guess she came to mind because she told me like that thing, that quote of like, when high school ends, I know you're gonna do better. You're gonna make better decisions. You're gonna make better choices. That's gonna do really good for you. So it's cool, and I would love to. Sorry, guys, me versus myself podcast. I'm having technical difficulties because I kind of ran out of storage on my phone, so now I'm holding my iPad Mini up. Um, and I don't know. That was just kind of a short episode. I know this week was kind of unorganized. I know I should have recorded on Monday, which is my normal days, but if you're wondering what's on my nose, it's Vicks, because I have a little bit of a runny nose, so it's not like anything. I don't think too much of it. It's just Vicks. But my phone died. I mean, it has no storage, and I don't know why I didn't think twice about checking. But again, I am gonna have to cut the episode a little short today. Sorry about that. I know there was a little bit of an audio cut also, like earlier. Little inconveniences that were just unprecedented, and I didn't really mean to record this late anyways, but it's been cool, and it was nice catching up with you guys this week. Again, guest podcasts are coming more often very soon. Little things have gotten in the way of that, but I promise that it's all going to come full circle. And this podcast is, we're in it for the long run regardless. So if it's not like I'm super concerned about having certain things or so much completed, I guess. So, with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate everyone who listens, supports, reposts, likes, watches, views my stories even. Like, you guys mean a lot. Your support means a lot, and I can't wait to see this continue to grow, and I can't wait to have you guys on here so you guys share your experience of being human, and you share your experience of conquering your own mental struggles. So, thank you so much for listening. Again, this is Me versus Myself podcast. Please leave a like, please subscribe, please comment, please repost on your stories, please retweet. Whatever you can do. And if you don't want to do anything, whatever, it's fine. No hard feelings. I appreciate you just being in my life. If I know you, and if you're just a stranger, also, like, you came across me, so technically you know who I am. You have a neuron in your brain of my face now. Shout out David Huberman, though, for real. One day you'll be on this podcast, and I can't wait to have a conversation with you and tell you how much you've inspired me and how much you've planted in my head that have opened so many other ideas and many thoughts in my head. So shout out David Huberman, shout out David Goggins, shout out Joe Rogan, shout out Lex Friedman. I appreciate you guys so much for inspiration, and just the people you guys are and the way you carry yourself really, really, really inspires me. and I hope I can portray some sort of that character in the way that I am and the way that I live my life. So, thank you so much for listening. Again, this has been Me versus Myself podcast. Kind of a little bit of a technical difficulties that happened. Unprecedented, unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I appreciate you guys so much. This has been Me versus Myself podcast. Goodbye.